In 7-8, we're going to look at fractions and decimals. I'm going to hopefully give you experience with renaming fractions as decimals and decimals as fractions, and to be able to understand the relationship between fractions and decimals. So notice that the following fractions. You can do this one of two ways. You can think of 1/10 as 1 divided by 10 and use your calculator to find your answer. Or an even simpler way is just to think of when we were doing decimals in a previous chapter and we said 1/10, we would simply write it as 0.1. Sorry about what's happening here. 0.1. That is 1/10. 32 hundredths, you would write as 0.32. 7/10, you would write as 0.7. And 9 hundredths, you'd write as 0.09. In order to understand how to write it as a decimal, it's showing you the fractional part of the square below. They're telling you that it's 1/10, and again they're just stating that it's written as 0.1. So you would write 1/10 as a decimal as 0.1. You repeat this with other fractions in tenths, including 3/10 and 7/10 would just simply be written as 0.3 and 0.7. Next, you need to color or cover one small square of the bottom grid on the below. The fractional part of the square is 1/100th. So again, from previous knowledge, I'm hoping this is all coming back to you. You would write 1/100th as 0.01. You would write 32 hundredths as 0.32. You would write 9 hundredths as 0.09. Notice you're not writing it as 0.9 because that would be 9/10. 9 hundredths means that 9 needs to be in the hundredth spot when we write it. So in Math Journals pages 203, 342, and 343, you need to complete and discuss using Math Masters page 426. For each problem, you need to ask which number the numerator and the denominator were multiplied to obtain the second fraction. And then do 342 and 343 in your math journal and correct them. Again, renaming fractions as decimals with the calculator. Much of this, because many of you do not have the TI-15, you have just a regular calculator. What you need to do is, if the fraction is a fourth, all you need to do is put 1 divided by 4 equals and write down what you see. So think about it. If you have a circle, sorry my pictures aren't perfect here, and it was divided into 4 equal parts, and you got one of those parts, you would have 0.25, which is a fourth. 1/4 equals 0.25. Another good way to think of that is think of money. If you have $1 and somebody gives you a fourth of that dollar, how much do you receive? You receive a quarter, which is equal to 25 cents, which is written 0.25. So, fractions and divisions. Nina and her mother baked 4 dozen cookies for the book club meeting. The club has 8 members. How many cookies are there for each member? Well, 4 dozen equals 4 times 12, or 48. The number bottle, 48 divided by 8 equals 6. Or it can be written as 48 divided by 8 equals 6. Or it can be written as 48 ace. 6 fits this problem. The first and second number model suggest you're dealing out the 48 cookies to the 8 club members. Each member would get 6 cookies. The third number model, which is the 48 ace equals 6, suggests dividing each cookie into ace and giving 1/8 of every cookie to each person. Each person would end up with 48 ace. If the 48 ace were reassembled, they would be equivalent to 6. The problem and the cookie problem are both about sharing. The main difference is that in this problem, each share is less than 1 whole pizza. So you see 3 pizzas drawn below. If Adam A, guests are Bob B, Charles C, Daryl D, and Ed E, the pizzas could be shared in the following way. Each pizza could be divided into fifths. See how the number model 3/5 equals 3/5? It's just written slightly different. The left side 3/5 suggests dividing 3 pizzas among 5 people. The right side 3/5 tells how much each person would get. In high school and beyond, this symbol is almost never used for division. Division is usually shown with this symbol, a slash, or as a fraction bar. So, on your page in 7-8, you're going to be writing fractions in place of decimals. So you write them just as you say them. You see 20 hundredths, so you're going to write 20 hundredths. You see 6 tenths, you're going to write it as 6 tenths. What does 20 hundredths equal? Well, 20 hundredths also, if I divide each by 10, 20 divided by 10 is 2. 100 divided by 10 is 10. It also can equal 2 tenths. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Or I could simply cut them in half. 20 in half is 10. And 100 in half is 50. Go ahead and do the remaining problems and check your answers.